welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the Arthur Fonzarelli of board game review shows. Sit on it! Ladies and gentlemen, do you like societies? Of course you like societies. Who doesn't like societies? Today, we're going to take a look at a society. The Justice Society of America. This is a crossover pack, the first crossover pack to the DC Comics deck building game from Cryptozoic. The Justice Society of America crossover pack for the DC Comics deck building game from Cryptozoic Entertainment was the first of the crossover packs released for the DC Comics deck building game. Now, in the past few weeks, I've reviewed the second crossover pack, which was the based on the Arrow TV show. Then I did the third one not too long ago about the Legion of Superheroes. Now, this is the very first of the crossover packs. Now, again, the crossover packs are kind of fun ways to mix up your game of the DC Comics deck building game, add in some new cards, some new heroes, some new villains, and just have some fun and wacky adventures. Now, unlike the Arrow crossover pack or the Legion of Superheroes crossover pack, the Justice Society of America does not have a lot of new mechanical innovation. It really is just some new cards and new and fun cards that you can add to your DC Comics deck building game. And there are a lot of really interesting cards. First of all, you've got some pretty cool heroes. There's Mr. Terrific, which was my nickname in college. Now, once during each of your turns, if you're playing Mr. Terrific, you can discard a punch card. Now, if you discard a punch card, you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, you can draw one equipment that's revealed that way, and you can put the rest back in any order. Jay Garrick is pretty cool. When a card tells you to draw one or more cards, before drawing, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and you may discard it. So, that way, you can actually see if that's a card you don't want, you can get rid of it and then draw again. Dr. Fate is really cool. I really like his ability. When you play 2 cards with consecutive costs during your turn, you get +1 power. When you play 3 cards with consecutive costs during your turn, you get to draw a card. Dr. Fate can be very, very, very powerful in this game. Probably my favorite superhero in this crossover pack is Power Girl. I don't know, there's just something about her. There's just something about her I like a lot. Oh, but let me tell you about her abilities. Each time you play a different superpower during your turn, put a punch from your discard pile into your hand. And that's just some of the superheroes in this game. There are a few more that also bring a lot of fun and different abilities. Now, of course, there's also new supervillains. You swap out the supervillains, you put these new supervillains in there. And they, of course, all have a lot of really cool first appearance attacks and kooky abilities when you play them. What I think is interesting is Solomon Grundy begins on the top of this deck. And Solomon Grundy is cool because you cannot defeat Solomon Grundy unless, in the hand you're playing to defeat him, you play a starter card. Now, Solomon Grundy's cost is an 8, and so one of those cards has to be a punch, maybe even a vulnerability, but it has to be a starter card in order for you to take down Solomon Grundy. There's a lot of other cool cards that you're just kind of, putting in the main deck, mixing in there, that'll come out periodically during this game. T-Spheres is an equipment with 2 power. But what you can do when you play it is you can choose a card name, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you put all the cards with that name into your hand, and the rest on top of the deck in any order. Liberty Bell is a pretty cool hero. Not only does she have a +2 power, but she also has a defense ability, so that when you play her, you can actually go ahead and discard the card to avoid an attack. Now, if you do that, you can draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your deck. The Perdigation is a pretty neat villain. He's got +2 power, and you can discard any number of cards from your hand. If you do, you get +1 power for every card you discarded. There's also Monument Point, which sounds like a fun place to make out with Power Girl. But the Monument Point card is a location you can put out in front of you with an ongoing ability. The ongoing ability is that when you play your first punch during each of your turns, you get to draw a card. That can be pretty handy, especially if you get it early enough when you're playing a lot of those punch cards. Now, that is just a brief overview of some of the cards in this deck. There's a lot more, and again, the crossover packs are fun. I've got to tell you, I love the DC Comics deck building game. We've got the original, we've got Heroes Unite, we've got Forever Evil, and we've got the Teen Titans. And you can use these packs with any of these games in order to mix them up and just change the tone, change the tenor of the set a little bit. And it's cool because they're all marked, so you can take them out and put them back in their box, so there's no confusion. Easy to use these, easy to play with them, and again, it just adds some variety, a little bit of spice to your game of DC Comics deck building game. I really like the Justice Society of America crossover pack. I really like some of these new abilities. Some of the cards are really cool. I like some of the villains. And, of course, I really like Power Girl. But I think maybe so far, of the 3 that I played, it's probably the weakest because it doesn't have a lot of those mechanical abilities. You know, in the Arrow one, you had the thing where you could kind of bank cards under your hero card. In the Legion of Superheroes, you had time travel, which allowed you to use cards from the lineup. So there's some fun mechanical things in the others that aren't really present here, but I wouldn't dismiss this one because the cards are pretty cool. If you don't have a crossover pack yet, I'd probably start with Arrow. I think that was probably my favorite crossover pack so far. But Justice Society is great, and Legion of Superheroes are great. And if you're kind of a DC deck building game completist like me, you're going to want to pick them all up. So the recommendation for the discriminating gamer is, once again, if you like the DC Comics deck building game, you're going to want to buy Justice Society of America Crossover Pack 1. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are The Discriminating Gamer. And do you think Power Girl would go out with me?
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm